Okay, so we went over Numbers 11 at church Sunday, and today I was trying to do a recap on Numbers 11. And I also got Psalms 38, verse 8. However, I'm going to combine Numbers 11 and Psalms chapter 38 together to show you how it reflects and resonates with me. So, 1. The people began complaining. Not long after God rescued Israel from slavery, the people started grumbling. They complained about their hardships instead of remembering God's faithfulness. God heard their complaints, and his anger burned against them. A fire broke out on the edge of the camp until Moses prayed and God stopped it. So the lesson is, complaining doesn't just reveal dissatisfaction, it reveals where our hearts are focused. Reflecting on my life, think about where I was 2 years ago. I was battling addiction. I was separated from my children. My body was injured. My future looked uncertain. And now I'm sober. I love Jesus. My daughters are home. I'm studying ministry. I'm leading my family in devotion. The enemy would love to get my eyes back on what's still missing instead of what God has already done. All right, so point 2, the craving for Egypt. Some of the people became dissatisfied with the manna God provided every day. They started remembering Egypt, saying, "We had fish, cucumbers, melons, onions, garlic." They forgot they had also been slaves. They remembered the food but forgot the chains. So the lesson? Sometimes the enemy edits our memories. He makes the past look delicious while hiding the prison that came with it. Reflecting on my life, I have shared before how drugs destroyed so much. Sometimes old habits, old relationships, or old ways of coping can look attractive when life becomes stressful. But this is a reminder. Don't remember Egypt. Remember why God delivered you. So 3, Moses becomes overwhelmed. Moses tells God, "I can't carry these people by myself anymore." So he's exhausted. He's discouraged. He's emotionally drained. God doesn't rebuke him. Instead, he says, "I'll help you." He tells Moses to gather 70 elders, and God places his spirit on them to help carry the burden. So, reflecting on my life, I've talked about working, raising my girls, paying bills, leading devotions, starting ministry, healing emotionally, trying to be the mother that God called me to be. Now, that's a lot. God never intended for me to carry everything alone. He provides people. He provides grace. He provides strength. Thank you, Lord. All glory be to God. So 4, God sends quail. The people demanded meat. God tells them, "You'll have meat, not for 1 day, not for 2, but until you're sick of it." Their craving had become more important than trusting God. God gave them what they insisted on, but it didn't bring joy. Sometimes getting exactly what we demand isn't actually a blessing. So reflecting on it, there have probably been seasons where I wanted something immediately, like a relationship, a financial breakthrough, justice, recognition. God sometimes says wait, not because he's withholding good things, but because he's protecting you. So 5, the 70 elders prophesy. God pours out his spirit. Even 2 men who stayed behind in camp began prophesying. Joshua wants Moses to stop them. Moses answers with beautiful humility, saying, "I wish everyone belonged to the Lord and had his spirit." This points forward to Pentecost in Acts 2, when God's spirit would be poured out on all the believers. So that was my recap for Numbers 11. Now let me add Psalms 38:8, which is the verse I received. However, the whole chapter is going to align with it. The verse says, David is completely worn out. He is physically weak, emotionally crushed, groaning because of the anguish inside. David isn't pretending to be strong. He's honest with God. What this means, God isn't afraid of your tears. He isn't intimidated by your exhaustion. He welcomes honesty. You don't have to smile through pain to have faith. Faith sometimes looks like crying while still refusing to let go of Jesus. Tying both passages together, Numbers 11 shows people responding to hardship in 2 different ways. The Israelites complained against God. David cried to God. That's the difference. One heart says, "God, you haven't done enough." The other says, "God, I don't understand, but I'm still coming to you." And this is how I see it speaking into my life. I have shared that I'm carrying a lot. I'm rebuilding my life after addiction. I'm learning to lead my daughters spiritually. I'm trying to forgive people who have hurt me. I'm praying for financial stability and a home that I own. And sometimes my heart probably feels like Moses, like this is too much. Or sometimes it feels like David, I'm exhausted. God's answer to Moses was, I'll help you carry it. And God's answer to David was his presence. And I believe those are still God's answers today. So one sentence that keeps echoing as I reflect on both passages are, don't look back at Egypt because the promised land is still ahead. Thank you, Lord.